From London to Lake Worth and all points in between, you are tuned in to the Ask Coach Judy Show with your host, Judy Romanoff, founder of the National Single Parent Resource Center. With over 28 years of experience of helping executives and individuals to achieve their maximum success, the Ask Coach Judy Show is a pay-it-forward show designed to empower one with knowledge for achieving professional and personal success by bringing all types of experts in their related fields.
Hello.
Here is Coach
Hello and welcome
Judy.
To the Ask Coach Judy Show. I want to let you know that we're on live on Facebook. For some reason, we have a black screen, so I'm not sure if you're able to hear us or not, but it says it's live. So hopefully the picture will come on and you will be able to see us live on Facebook. We are live. If you go to www.coachjudy.info and you click Talk Show, and then you click the button, you will be able to hear the show live as we are doing it right now. If you're not wishing to look at a blank screen through Facebook and listen to the show, we do have listeners who are listening through our app by going to coachjudy.info website. And before I really get into the show, I first want to say thank you to Jeanne, and I will be thanking my upcoming guest. This is partly a thank you show for the holidays because of Jeanne and Passionate World Talk Radio. Our show is also heard on www.Passionate World Talk Radio on demand. And Jeanne, the manager of the station, who also has her own show and does a lot of great topics, is on. But I also want to say to everybody, it's December are holidays. So I'd like to wish everybody, I'm wearing my red jacket, if you can see the red jacket, because we've got a few shading issues that have me looking a little bit red. A very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. To my Jewish friends who celebrate Hanukkah, a very happy Hanukkah and Kwanzaa, and to any other holiday that I may have omitted. Let this be a great ending of 2019, and we're preparing for 2020, and we're going to help you get the facts so you can act and achieve success, no matter what it is. And today's topics are going to vary a little bit because we got two dynamic guests on the show. But because of Jeanne's experience as a nurse, and also having a show and working with people who are dealing as caregivers to dealing with loved ones who have a dementia, Alzheimer's, or any very difficult disease that requires a loved one or a caretaker to come in and help. We're going to address some of those issues as well, because in speaking with Jeanne and getting to know her, I learned there's an area that doesn't get talked about. And I felt it's very important that we also talk about it. So I want to say to you, some of the areas that we're going to cover today include caregiving. We're going to touch on about single parenting at the end, and also what you can do about creating a new beginning if you're in a stuck mode in 2020. And we're going to help you get motivated so you can try to unstuck yourself and get onto the right path so that you can enjoy life, have positive outcomes, and know that life doesn't have to be so difficult even when we're going through life's challenges. So I'd like to welcome my guest, Jeanne White from PWR Talk Radio, and their website is www.passionateworldtalkradio. And welcome, Jeanne, to the Ask Coach Judy Show.
Oh, thank you very much, Judy, for inviting me. I speak to you a lot on the phone, and it's not that often that I do interviews. So this is quite an unusual, the roles are reversed a little bit for me. I don't do many now, as you know. I do some, but I take care of the caregiver series and other things that happen as a station manager. So thanks.
Oh, you are. Well, I think you're wonderful. I think what you and Lillian are doing is fantastic, and keeping the station going and having some great shows and guests on there.
Mm-hmm. I agree.
Oh, well, it is great. And I just want to actually let my listening audience know that, as a matter of fact, I actually started my internet career with Passionate World Talk Radio back, I think it was 2010, that I was directed to Lillian Caldwell, who had the station. We worked something out and began my internet career prior to those who don't know me to being with iHeart, that was known as Clear Channel, in 2002 as the Coach Judy radio show for 5 years. So I certainly understand where you're coming from.
Yes. So what do you want me to talk about?
Well, I'd like to do, because so many people are having loved ones in the hospital, or they may find themselves in the hospital, you're sharing a little bit of active advocacy that you're doing, having been working as a healthcare in hospitals, a little bit about what's happening there when you're working, because I don't think people realize the abuse.
Let me just make a correction. I handle the caregivers and I speak to them, and I do have a gerontology background, but I'm not a nurse.
Oh, okay.
I'm a yoga teacher, I'm a Reiki master, and I'm a soul coach. But I also, because this past year and a half, I've been so involved with the caregivers series that we have that that's what I basically do, is provide a venue for them to come and tell their story.
Oh, okay. Well, thank you for the clarity. So tell us, listen, in a brief scenario type of thing, what are nurses facing in the hospitals that relate to abuse? Because nobody has any idea. No one talks about it. And I was taken back after being patients at various times in the hospital. What are some of our nurses actually facing?
Oh, so you're talking about the domestic violence to nurses. Yes.
Exactly.
Okay. My background on that right now is I've been with Sheila Wilson, and we started way back when I first started on radio, back at WATD in Marshfield. And she used to come down my show. Then eventually I started working with her and, going to the State House, because the nurses are violently hurt every day in a hospital. Not only the nurses, but the EMTs, the doctors, the lab technician. For some reason, there's just been an avalanche of abuse to these nurses, et cetera, and all these EMTs. I mean, I've heard that some of these nurses have actually left their profession because of the stress that has been put on them. And because they... Sure.
I just want to interrupt for a minute. Can you give a specific example of abuse so people can kind of put it in their mind of an abusive situation that may have occurred?
Well, all I'm aware of is that I'll use the ER as an example. It's very hectic in that ER. It's very busy. And these nurses are in a life state situation with their patients and stuff. It's not, and then all of a sudden, one of the patients will just become really erratic and very violent. I mean, they'll grab the stethoscope that's around their neck and they tighten it to the point they're almost choking them to death.
So you're saying it's actually the patient's behavior is where
mostly a lot of the patients, yes, they're absolutely abusive. Like Sheila Wilson, she has since left the ER, but the last time she was at the ER, there's a patient that came in with the police. I guess he had been drinking, and they had put these soft cuffs around his hands. And so Sheila's leaning down and she's looking at him. Now she turns her back on him and he slips his hand into his pocket and pulls out a lighter. So now he puts the lighter near the bandage that they're wrapped in for him, and it starts to burn. And so when she turned around, there was all, when you're burning something, you would get the ashes and stuff that are flying in the air. Well, she almost lost her eyesight because some of that ash went into her eye. And not only that, there's a lot of oxygen in the hospital.
Oh, that's right.
So after that whole incident, she left. She finally had to leave. But there are nurses have been punched in the face. They've been pinched. They've been spit at. Nurses have been told really not to turn their back on a patient when they're walking out. They're supposed to come out back, facing the patient and walking backwards. Well, this one nurse not decided, but she must have forgotten. She started walking out, and it was an elderly woman that all of a sudden ran up against her, got on her, and started to beat her up.
Oh my gosh.
I mean, there's a lot of stuff going on. So we're working on a bill where now Sheila has a nonprofit for Stop Care Violence that just came up on this past June. But there is a lot of incidents that people don't realize what's happening in the hospitals to these nurses and doctors. Doctors have been shot to death.
All right, there's so many different things that you see on the street after you're in the hospital.
Yeah.
Do you want to give one last sentence or a direction that people can contact, or if they want to help with advocating for this then?
Well, they can contact Sheila Wilson if they want to become advocates and help her out. And her email address is SheilaW6@comcast.net.
Great, thank you. Now, can you share with us what makes what you're doing different with Passionate World Talk Radio and what you're doing with it? Because I think the station offers a specialty, a uniqueness with the guests as well as your hosts that are on the station.
Well, you know yourself when you came on the station, we talk about things and we provide information that you don't necessarily hear all the time in your newscast or your newspaper. You know, like I have the caregiver series. I'm going to be doing a cancer series. We have people that come on. I have guests come on. I have cancer patients that have come on. I mean, you just don't know what people do with their lives when they've been taken back with a diagnosis of cancer. And then once these women have gone through their treatments and everything, Judy, they take the ball and they run with it. Some become authors, some become speakers, some become advocates. So those are the kind of audience we get. You know, we have authors. I have right now, I mean, I seem to be focusing on caregivers because that's what I'm doing right now. We're providing a place. There's not many places that they can go and speak and have a venue, a platform to be able to tell their stories.
That's wonderful. Now, I ask you a question, Tanya's caregivers. What should people know when they go to hire a caregiver? Can you share any enlightenment on that?
Well, a caregiver, I mean, I'm talking to everyday people that might say I'm a caregiver, but they have they have different companies out there that provide this service to come in and take care of their loved ones, meaning help them take a bath, help them with their medication. But you have to screen them to see if there if any issues with that particular company that they're going to be working with that are going to come in and take care of your loved ones. But what I'm doing, Judy, is I am talking to actual caregivers that have been a caregiver for the last 9, 10, 15 years, 2 years ago, new caregivers. And that's a group that's totally sometimes can be very isolated, because once people figure out you have family and friends that start dropping away. I mean, there's a whole segment on that whole story, but there's a lot about caregiving. But I've had people on that have had their own businesses, but I'm basically, this show that I'm doing is strictly for caregivers that are on an everyday basis. They're taking care of a loved one that has been diagnosed with dementia or Alzheimer's or Lewy body. And what they're doing, what we wanted to do is to share this information so all these new caregivers that are coming on board would be able to find information that could help them with different things that are happening, with how the medication works. What kind of dishes do you place in front of them? What kind of food do you give them? These are tricks that these caregivers have learned in the course of being caregivers.
Well, and that's important because I also know people who use caregivers, and I find lots of times they don't even, especially down here in South Florida, really do a lot to properly match up the caregiver with the need of the person. And then because of language barriers, they'll send out a lot of people who do not really speak clear or understand English.
Right. Yeah.
somebody's home and they don't understand, and here you're the patient and you're trying to direct them and tell them how and what needs to be done, and they have no idea what you're saying. And I think that's part of our problem out there, is they're not properly matching caregivers with the right clients.
Right, but see, you're talking about clients and caregivers. I'm talking about private caregivers that are the husband, the wife, the daughter, the son that are taken care of.
Family caregivers.
I'm talking about family caregivers. Yeah. But you can call whatever state you're in. There's an elder services available. You call up your state or your city, talk to, and you can go on AARP and find information about a facility that you're looking at. They may be able to help you, or they can listen to our shows and find out. I mean, there's tons of information.
That's a great idea. What I wanted to say while we finish talking is that we're going to be bringing on Cynthia MacGregor in just a couple moments. And I know my producer, Wendy Schindler, I want to say while she's contacting Cynthia, is to also let everybody know that my producer, Wendy Schindler, is donating her time to help bring this show to you. So I want to thank
That's
Wendy.
wonderful. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, I feel very fortunate that I've got some great people working with us to help us put our message and our information and the great guests that we bring on to be on your station and other platforms to the show. Because without Wendy, a lot of wouldn't get done. So I really thank her for doing that.
Well, I thank you for having me on the show. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Well, you're welcome. Well, this is a thank you show today, and I believe you give back and you thank those who help you get to where you are, if possible. And that's why I felt I had to have you on, Judy, because we've had some great conversations. And I think what you're doing in the health industry, because of different components and helping others with it, is so important, and that you're reaching out. And I think it's really great.
All right. Thank you.
All right.
I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I'm going to keep you on until Wendy has Cynthia ready to bring her on.
Okay, that's fine.
So would you just give our listeners how they can reach your show?
Well, they can reach it through, we're on demand. And if you go on our website, Passionate World Talk Radio, and go on to host, you'll see my name, Jeannie, and you'll be able to pick up my name, and then it should bring you to my page.
Hi.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Hi, Cynthia. Just a moment. We're finishing up with Jeanne White from PWR Talk Radio. Yeah. So just hold on a moment. I've got you in my screen so I can see you. I hope you can see me. And so let me wind up with Jeanne White from Passionate World Talk Radio. So Jeanne, just finish up and share how people can reach you and watch your show.
Yep, and that's it. They can just go to Passionate World Talk Radio, or they can write me at theconnectshow@gmail.com and ask me, and I'll give it to them. All right.
Great, Jeanne. Thank you so much for taking some of your valuable time.
Okay, thank you. Okay, bye.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'd like to welcome now my guest, Cynthia MacGregor. She is a writer of many books, an author, an editor. And I met Cynthia when she put a call out to single parents because she was producing a new talk show many years ago called Solo Parenting. And we connected, and we've been friends ever since. And so I'm really proud to welcome Cynthia MacGregor and also say thank you for having me as a guest on your TV show on solo parenting at various times. It's been a lot.
Well, thank you for having me back on your show, Coach Judy.
Well, you're welcome. Well, we bring on great people, and that's what we look for. And I said, this month is going to be a special month by bringing back people who I respect and value.
Well, thank you. And I think you wanted me to pass along some hints for people in the new year. Yes, may I suggest that anybody who wants to further their career or their life or any aspect of their life in 2020, instead of making a list of resolutions, I'm suggesting that people make a list of what they want to accomplish in the new year, what they want to change, what they want to do, what they want to see better, different, or new in their lives. And then under each item, make a list of the specific steps they have to take in order to accomplish what they want to do.
That's a very good point, because everybody's thinking about, well, what I'd like to do differently, and they have it on the grand scale, but they forget the little steps that they have to take to really go and bring that change and decide what changes they even want to make or want to achieve, because our show also ties in a lot with the business community. And it's like, all right, where do you want to go with your business? How are you going to get there? And as a matter of fact, I just want to say I have Steve Osher coming on next month. He's going to help our listeners learn how to develop a business where they can reach 6- and 7-figure incomes. So what you're sharing with us is really great information.
Thank you. You also wanted me to talk about getting ahead and fear of success. Now, a lot of people talk about fear of failure, and it's true that people are afraid to fail, and so they won't take that first step because they're afraid that they won't make it, that they'll fall down, that they'll fail, that people will make fun of them or laugh at them or say, she tried and didn't make it, or he tried and didn't make it. But what people don't realize is that there is also a fear of success. And why are people afraid of success? There are a variety of reasons. First of all, people are afraid that if they succeed and make it big time, their life will change radically. And change is something that scares a lot of people.
Wanted to interrupt you there for a moment, because change really is true because of the fact that how people react, because if you become successful, they may get jealous or resentful, or if they know you and it's taking longer to achieve what they feel is success for themselves, others may judge you, or they may say, especially in my industry, they would say, go get a regular job.
Well, this is all very true. And another reason that people are afraid of success is they're afraid that their friends will desert them, that once they're on a higher level income-wise or simply success-wise, because after all, success is not only measured by income, but by other metrics as well. And so they may be more successful, not necessarily by income. For example, I consider myself successful, and yet I'm still struggling financially. But I've had over 100 books published, and I'm doing something I love, 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 love for a living, for a lifetime. And I think I'm successful because I'm doing something that I love all day, all week, all year. And I've had over 100 books published. And if that isn't success, I don't know what is, even though I'm not rich. Yes, Judy, you wanted to say something. Go ahead.
Yeah, well, yeah, as a matter of fact, I'm glad you brought that out, because I find, and actually in my career many years ago, I had people try to sabotage. And one of them actually called me because they had contacted this gentleman who has this ego. And he's trying to discredit my success. And he had measured success on how many people attended the event. Not that success is who came and what they got out of it. So I think it's very interesting out there in today's society how people judge you and see you as successful. And I think it's us, we have a responsibility to help people like we're doing today, and helping them understand that success is not just dollars and cents. It's not just the size of your home, that there are all kinds of successes that we measure for ourselves, because there's, individual successes that people don't give you any credit for.
Well, that's true. That's very, very true, Judy. And I think people sometimes are afraid of any kind of success because they think that if it's going to elevate them over their friends or their family members in any sense, whether it's financially or just doing what they love, like I'm doing, people will be jealous and will stop having anything to do with them. Now,
I
another
got a question. I got to throw out something. Do you think this is because we have contentment and satisfaction in our life, and maybe a lot of them really don't feel that way of contentment?
I'm sorry, I think there was a dog barking in the back.
Yeah, yes. Well, when you do work from home and it is a cloudy day, we don't always get exactly how we'd like it to be, but our show is successful because of the knowledge that we're giving. Yes, what I'm saying is that possibly a lot of people feel jealousy because they measure it in money or people, and we're measured in success as also being content and happy with who we are and doing it. And so many people out there really underneath are not happy about who they really are or what they're doing or achieving in some level.
Yes, that's very true. And then another reason why people are afraid of success is they think they're violating some religious, I can't think of the word now, but that's something in their religion that speaks against trying to get a lot of money. They think that's against their religion, and actually a religious directive. That's what I was trying to think of. And actually, there is really nothing, certainly not in the tenets of the religious group that I belong to, that says anything against being wealthy. In fact, if you are in a religion that wants you to tithe, the more you earn, the more you tithe to your church. So it's a good thing to be wealthy. And then there's the fear of looking greedy, but it's not greedy to accumulate a lot of wealth. And again, that's only one kind of success. That's success financially. And people will think you're greedy if you accumulate a lot of money, but only if you don't share it. But if you're open-handed with your income, then you're not being greedy to bring it in. May I mention a book of mine, Don't Quit While You're Ahead. This book talks about not, the old adage is quit while you're ahead, but my book posits don't quit while you're ahead. There's more for you. Reach out for it. Don't quit while you're ahead. Go for more. Go for the gold.
So you're saying is that keep going no matter what it is. If you're making more money, keep making more money. If that's what makes you and your family or you yourself, most important, happy, and not worry about what other people are saying. As long as you're treating people with respect and kindness, I think that's also important there, because too many people out there, while they've got money, they think they're superior, and they have this attitude or mentality towards those who have less. And I can say, I've come from great wealth, and I've also lived without great wealth. And I found that really just being me is what's most important. And my friend, no matter where I was at in on a financial level, it was still the same. It was like who you are as a person, how can I relate to you, and vice versa, and build that friendship or business relationship, regardless of what it is, and not what color of your skin, what language you speak, or how much you make. It's about being you and finding commonality that can work together.
May I mention that my book, along with all my other books, and I have over 100 books, my books are all available through my website, www.cynthia, Cynthia, Cynthia, MacGregor, MacGregor.com. You can also contact me through my website, again, www.cynthiamacgregor.com.
Okay, that's great. I just want to, what areas, I'm going to give you a few more minutes, and then I'm going to go into a single parent segment, because I want to let people know also that any proceeds that do come in through the show that we will be marketing, and even my life coaching, is all going to go to benefit a nonprofit organization so that they can get off the ground and do much more out in the community. So
a good thing, Judy. You're doing a much needed job, and good on you for it.
Oh, well, thank you, Cynthia. I appreciate that. I mean, I can only say that I've always learned. I had good parents that teach me to work from love and to give back, and also to be honest. So they taught me some great virtues, but I've developed my own, and I'm glad that I have the vehicle and the people and the support of various people to help make it possible to even bring this show together. So I feel very fortunate. But I think that also success and getting ahead can be measured on other areas as well. So can you share with our listeners one other tip, or as I call it, Coach Judy's practical tip, or Cynthia's practical tip, for getting ahead and feeling that success, whatever it may be, is an asset depending upon how you handle yourself?
I think you have to have faith in yourself, Judy. I think if you don't believe in yourself, it's damn hard to get ahead. You've got to believe in yourself and believe that you can do it, whatever it is. Believe that you can succeed in whatever it is you're trying to do. And if you have that faith in yourself and that drive, it'll be a lot easier to get ahead.
That is true. And I got to say is, don't let money be a factor in what you're doing, as long as you're enjoying what you're doing and it fulfills your life, especially if you're a single person, for you, and that will complement the relationship with anybody else that you may have with you. Would you agree, Cynthia?
Yes.
Great. So again, before we sign off, before I go over to do my single parent segment, can you, again, give our listeners the information so they can contact you? Because you're a wonderful person. You've got phenomenal books out there. You got great knowledge, and you offer so much.
Thank you. I offer ghostwriting. I offer editing if someone has written a book or other document that they need edited. I offer books, over 100 of them, and just contact me. You can contact me through my website, and there's a contact link right there on the website. And the website again is www.Cynthia, Cynthia, MacGregor, MacGregor.com, and I do have a couple of books for single parents.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Cynthia, for coming on. It was a pleasure to see you again and to have you on the show. And who knows what the future will bring both of us.
Right. Thank you, Coach Judy, and happy holidays.
Thank you. Happy holidays to you too. Thank you.
Bye-bye now.
Bye. Bye. And that leads me into our segment that we do. Every show is about single parenting. That's the background I come from. I've been a single parent. I've walked the talk. I've dealt with custody battle and won when people would have expected that I would probably lose. And I said, when I finished my case, I had to give back, and I had to educate and empower other single parents on the different areas that they need to really address. So with it in mind today, and it being the holiday time, I said, well, what should I speak about regarding single parenting? Then I went, aha, you know what it is? Holiday times are difficult for single parents in two ways. Either they are letting go their children to go visit the other family, or they're getting the children, but they're like not sure what really is going to be with the kids, and also what type of brainwashing that could have gone on when the kids come to visit. This is not just for the mother, it's for the father, and also for grandparents that are having the opportunity to see their grandchildren. So it's really important to know some basic steps of what you can do so that you can, most important, work in the best interest of the children. That being said, okay, I want to just make sure, yes, we are still recording. With all the technical things going on, I got a lot of things to look at to make sure we're all set. And again, I want to apologize for the hazy background that's a little bit red. We're here down in South Florida. It's a cloudy day, and we usually do the show when there's natural sunlight. So today, we're a little bit on the red side because it's Christmas. If you are sending a child or children, especially young children, to visit the other parent or grandparents, one of the things I always suggested to parents is to give them a bear, a stuffed animal, and let them know that if you feel lonely and you miss me, know that this animal or stuffed animal or whatever it is that you give the child is something they can know that comes with love, and to hold it and to squeeze it, whatever that you can do so you can feel the love of the other parent that you're going to be missing. And of course, with today's modern technology, compared to when I was doing this approximately 28 years ago, you can also give them any modern technology that will have your voice on it. You could even read them a story so that if your child, when they're gone, gets lonely, that they know they can go to that place where it has your voice and feel your love and your care and not feel so lonely. On the other hand, hopefully they won't feel lonely and they're having such a great time with the family that they will not feel lonely. But if they do, it gives them reassurance that you're really there, even though you're not there. Secondly, a topic that's very close to my heart is parental alienation. And I want to give you just a brief synopsis of what it is. Parental alienation is the intent, the conscious or unconscious effort to turn a child against the other parent or other family by saying negative things or by not allowing the child to mention the other family or have pictures with them or anything else. I can say that's the worst thing you can do to any child that comes to visit you or lives with you is not learning the opportunity to have the other family in their presence. That is key. Number two, please, and I speak from experience, do not talk against the other parent. I don't care if you hate the parent, if you think they're a terrible parent, never discuss those things with the child because it stays with them. And as a parent, when you're raising them and they're with you, you're giving them ammunition to escalate the anger that they may feel and take it out on the other parent or you and have behavioral issues. And it all stems from the anger of how everyone handles the divorce, a separation, or two parties coming together to cohabitate, have children, and they leave the relationship. So that's number two. Number three, talk. And if you can't talk, write to the other parent or grandparents and give them some ideas of how to work with your child or children so that everybody can get along and that the child can feel comfortable and safe in visiting and not have to feel uncomfortable, especially if they get lonely. And also remember to tell the other parent, again, by phone or by letter, without attacking the other person or complaining about any of the issues going on in this letter, what you're offering and providing and asking to please allow your child or children to have the opportunity to listen or to even have pictures up in the room that they're staying in so they can feel there is some type of cohesiveness together. The less the cohesiveness there is in the relationship or in any relationship, the harder it is for everyone in the long run. And what we want to really give thought to, what we do today with our children can impact them for a lifetime and impact them in their relationships with others, having children, not having children, relationships, and having a happy, healthy, productive, positive life. So I can only say in ending the show is this: please put the anger where it belongs. Do not use it to attack, especially with the children, in any way. Try to communicate. You can't get professional help. Try to stay out of the family court system because they don't help you. They can only make it worse unless you win the case or the area you're fighting. But it's really better if everybody could compromise and find a way to work out. And I know there are families, because of what I've gone through and in talking with single parents for the last 25 years, that there are some who will choose to be angry and act against you no matter what. Accept it and just do the best job you can as a parent and as a person, and try to work and find the love and care in your heart and put it out there, especially to your children. I want to say and let people know who have listened to the entire show, this show is about getting the facts so you can act and achieve success. And here on the show, we're going to bring you all kinds of guests and topics on the show. Next month, we're going to be doing 2 areas. We're going to be talking to Steve Osher, the reinventor guy. I believe he's from Chicago. He's written many books on helping you achieve success in various types of businesses and figures and the latest techniques to go out and build your business. He's got a book out that he is going to be sending me. It's probably in the mail today. We're going to use that as a raffle. And we're going to ask you, the listeners, to go to www.coachjudy.info, fill out the form that says contact, give us your name, phone number, your email address, and tell us audience participation, and put on their raffle. I am working in developing a way that we can gather the submissions and put them in something so that we can actually pull out the winner of the book at some point right here on the show. Also, we are asking that you consider making donations to the Ask Coach Judy show for the National Single Parent Resource Center so that they can offer the programs that are so needed out there and have the means to do it. And we will be looking for other great authors and guests from locally, nationally, and internationally who have achieved success that can provide you valuable knowledge so you can achieve the goals and find positive actions that can bring you positive, good feelings inside and to make life enjoyable rather than heartache. And also, life is full of challenges. So no matter what challenges you're going through, we want to give you tips to make those challenges a lot lighter on you. Because if we don't, then we're not doing our job here with the show, as our show is about Ask Coach Judy. And also, if you've got topics you'd like to hear on the show, or you would like to be a guest on the show, please contact us and we'll tell you how we can make it happen for you. My email address is coachjudylive@gmail.com. The website is www.coachjudy.info, and on there you'll also see my page, which we're adjusting for life coaching. I've now expanded my coaching not to just to single parents, but to anyone who wants to get ahead in life, personally, professionally, and from the inside out, and know that I will leave off the single parent issues that I address with single parents if you don't need it. It's about really helping you get to where you want to be from the inside out, with having walked the talk, from having come through, as I said earlier, great wealth and living my own life and building up a life that I enjoy, that helps me to deal with my own challenges, which are many, but it's doing what you enjoy, as Cynthia said, feeling satisfied and feeling good about who you are. And that's what we also want to do for you with our programs. Thank you so much for tuning in. And remember, if you want to let people know and they didn't hear live, go to the website. We're on demand. We're on, I think, 6 or 7 platforms. I'm also talking with another station, a second station besides the podcast platforms, to have the Ask Coach Judy show on with them. So I'll keep you updated. And again, go to Facebook and go to Ask Coach Judy and become a follower and get our updates and be informed when our shows are on. Thank you so much. And again, I have a happy happy holiday season. We'll see you in January. Thank you and have a great day. Bye.